And somebody else that's still in the news, we can't stop, won't stop, it's Alec Baldwin for Rust. And for me, I'm like, I don't want to talk about this too long because it just keeps popping up here. But Alec Baldwin tried to take this back to court and challenge a potential refiling of criminal charges against him. Now, he went to court back in New Mexico. The first judicial district court judge actually put it out there and said, hey, we're not going to let you dismiss this. It's denied. So they can still go after him for criminal charges after the fact. And he also wanted to stop it during this whole criminal charge, and then he was, they had the whole court case going on with the actual armor right now. And he wanted to stop them being able to go after him. They said, we delay it till after all that's done. And the judge said, no, that's not happening either. So even though he was dismissed, all his charges against him were dropped. And he thought, everyone said, oh, he's going to be fine. They can still go after him. Now, the charges against him may be reconsidered at some point, but the final decision has not been made yet. Now, of course,
it's a civil case.
It's a civil case. I should say civil. Not criminal charges are done, but civil. Civil, yes. So the judge was just telling him, though, like, you're not going to get out of this. If they decide to come after you, they can still go after you. And he tried. They had a whole video thing, and he had this whole court date. But unfortunately for Alec Baldwin, he could still be charged civil crimes for the actual death of the cinematographer, Helena Hutchins. So, and this is, the movie's done. Rust is done. They finished shooting in Montana. And who knows, it might actually be where this movie comes out and these charges come at the same exact time, which would be just a disaster for the movie, for the PR, for everything. But especially when there's not a lot of stuff shot right now,
Has the family
which is always a problem.
that they want to pursue civil charges?
They've been talking about it. Yeah, apparently they have. They're saying it all depends on, because there was a whole thing with the gun. And they were like, the thing is coming out more and more is the gun was fired before we say never pulled the trigger. But after all the logistics came out for it, they said the trigger was pulled. And so that's why through all the discovery, they might actually go back and charge him now for civil charges. But
how about the fact that it's a prop gun and it shouldn't be firing a fucking bullet? Like, why would you not pull the trigger if you're an actor? Like, I know he said, so he lied, so he's going to get in trouble for lying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a prop gun.
But they said there was some tampering with the evidence too. And that was a whole thing going on. So I think that's what it was.
But he was a
producer.
Him being a producer, I feel like, was a big part of that as well. And also, like, those are where the decisions are made. I think it was a big decision for somebody to have used a real gun as opposed to like replicas and things like that.
But no, I know it should have fake bullets in it.
It should, but they were firing.
If you're using a practical gun that can fire, like, it should be firing fake bullets. Like, I worked on, you just mentioned Bosch Legacy. I worked on Bosch forever. We had so many scenes where there was we had a whole shootout in a basement. We would go and pick up all the shells and shit. I actually made my friend Ryan a fucking little thing with all the fucking shells from the fucking bullets. Like, it's something that happens all the time. It's very common. This armorer had no fucking idea what she was doing. Like, I mean, if you can accuse him of anything, is hiring someone who doesn't have enough experience because you were trying to cut corners and save money. Yeah. But I don't think he intentionally did anything wrong. It just doesn't make sense to me. And Ty, I know you did say that you think it's crazy he did nothing wrong and that the armor is to blame. She is still facing criminal charges, if I'm not mistaken,
yes, she is.
Right?
That's the whole thing. They're saying
he got dropped. The criminal charges were dropped against him. She is still being charged criminally. Yeah. He may have a civil case pending. Also worth noting, really quickly, I'm sorry, I don't mean to steal the spotlight here, but the husband is also a producer. After this happened, part of his settlement so it's not the husband, maybe it's her family, like her mom or dad or brother. I don't know.
An executive producer on now too.
The husband is now part of his settlement was that I think that he got paid out some money. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he did. But he is definitely a producer on this movie now. So, I mean, it's a little weird to me personally that you're gonna be like, okay, this is like what happened and like how my wife died, and I'm gonna get money from that because at least something good should come out of it. I don't really know what that just seems really fucking weird to me, honestly.
What do you do? I can't blame the guy. Like, if she's dead, not taking the producer credit isn't going to bring her back.
It's just weird.
It's
just weird to negotiate.
The problem started right 100%. Whenever they decided not to pay a large amount of the crew, right? Right, a bunch of the crew left because they weren't being paid.
A bunch left.
And I think the armorer was one of the people. She was an assistant.
Yeah, she was assistant. The real armorer left, the official armorer, and then they just kind of moved her up.
Right. Yeah, and then they were like kept everybody in. So like, I mean, that's like I would argue that's negligence, for sure, at least 100%. From a producer standpoint. You know what I mean? And that's, if you make those big decisions and you've been a person that's been in film for so long, it's like, you got a lot of people around that especially this armorer who is not fit for the job and shouldn't be doing it. If anything, right. Alec Baldwin should have looked at that and been like, I should have. I definitely need to take more control over the situation. But
also like that, like I totally appreciate what you're saying, and I get that 100%.
Yeah, it's not foolproof,
100%. No, it's not that it's foolproof. It's just, the thing is, like, also though, like maybe not in this type of position, but like on more independent, like more cost-cutting type shows, like people get the opportunity to do things like that. And a lot of times they shine, and then it gives them a notch on their resume. And
totally. You're right.
Who was to know that this person was 150% unqualified? You know what I mean? Like that's it's just it's a catch-22. Honestly, it's a catch-22.
Oh yeah. The thing is, she was working on 100% anybody's fault.
Yeah. And she wasn't in the union too, which is the whole thing.
Storm of terrible
she wasn't in the union, so that was a problem too.
It was unfortunate,
But that happens. Move people up into the union too. That happens on set all the time. But yeah, it's just all unfortunate. The whole thing went down, and Alec Baldwin, like, of course, everything was dropped. But that's the thing. They said when they dropped the charges that they could still come after him for these civil charges.
Is money. He's got plenty of money. Like, fuck off with that.
Yeah. Even if they bring a civil suit against him, it doesn't guarantee that he's going to lose.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. He might still win it. He might still be fine. That's true. But I mean, that's true. We've talked about Russ so much about this. I just want to give this update. So Alec Baldwin, he tried to drop the charges for this. He tried to make it so they couldn't go after him, I should say, get everything dismissed. And the judge said, no, New Mexico, they can still come after you, which might still happen then.